When I speak of trains in former Soviet countries, you probably think of big and heavy, slow-moving trains from a past era, with uncomfortable interiors that are falling apart. But today, I'm riding on one of the only high-speed trains in the former Soviet Union countries. This is Uzbekistan's Afrosiyob. Join me as I show you the VIP experience on this premium train, from the stations and lounges to the onboard facilities and meal service, as we take this quirky, high-speed trip across Uzbekistan. Hello and welcome back to another video, and welcome to the ancient city of Bukhara in Uzbekistan. Today I'm going to be travelling on the country's premier rail service, the Afrosiyob high-speed train over to Tashkent, the country's capital. And for this trip I'm booked into VIP class, the highest class of travel, so it's going to be an interesting journey. Let's go! Today's video starts in the centre of Bukhara, up to 30 minutes drive from Bukhara 1 station, located far outside of the city in the town of Kogon. A taxi is the easiest option for this transfer, but very cheap minibuses are also available. Bukhara 1 is so named because it's one of two stations built to serve the city. The other station, the creatively named Bukhara 2, is located in the city centre, though only serves freight trains for some reason. A missed opportunity if you ask me. Like many stations in Uzbekistan, this one features a well-looked after garden area in front, a clean and pleasant space to relax before a journey. Bukhara 1 first opened in the late 19th century as a station on the Trans-Caspian Railway. In 2016, a new station building was opened, replacing the classic one shown here. Access to the station building is only possible after a manual ticket inspection, leaving me to queue in the scorching 37-degree heat. Despite being modern, the station building still features a lot of traditional Uzbek designs in its construction. Just look at the intricacy of the external walls and beautiful blue mosaics. Right inside the door, there's an airport-style security check, though this was quick and easy, and liquids are allowed. The interior here is pretty basic, with a few closed food and drink counters and a small selection of seats dotted around the building. You can also find a buffet, serving sandwiches, snacks and drinks, though as I'll be eating on board, I won't bother. There's no lounge at the station, but there is a so-called increased comfort room, whatever that's supposed to mean. However, access to this was not included with my ticket, and costs an additional 30,000 Uzbek som. But as it's not long until departure, I decided to head out to the platforms ready for boarding. My high-speed ride for the day is already waiting in the platform, having travelled from Tashkent in the morning. This is one of Uzbekistan's Afrosiyob trains, part of a fleet of 6 electric high-speed units imported from Spain. The train lends its name from an ancient settlement on what is now the territory of Uzbekistan. Afrosiyob's ruins are located near the major city of Samarkand, and it was a key part of the Silk Road trade route. These high-speed trains were manufactured by Talgo, whose trains have a unique feature. Instead of having bogies for the wheels located beneath the carriages like most other trains, they actually have just a single pair of wheels between carriages. This makes the train very lightweight, but does have a major disadvantage that we'll talk about later. These trains can be found all over the world, with the exact same model also operating in Spain, while neighbouring Kazakhstan has a similar design for its overnight services. Anyway, my train is number 769FA, the 1524 Afrosiyob departure for the capital. There are 2 VIP class seating areas, one small compartment located at each end of the 11-car train. I'm travelling in coach 1 today, at the rear of the set. Talgo trains have low floors by design, but there's still a few steps up into the carriage. VIP class is in a spacious 2+1 layout, with smart leather armchairs throughout, which really do look classy. All seats are around large tables, and I'm sitting here in seat 15. Today's route sees us heading east out of Bukhara, beginning our fast trip to the Uzbek capital, stopping only in Navayi and Samarkand. Journey time is scheduled to be 3 hours and 53 minutes, covering 568 kilometres. Our train departs from Bukhara 1 at 15:20, thus beginning our high-speed journey over to Tashkent. We were actually meant to depart 4 minutes later at 15:24, but for some reason departed 4 minutes early. Leaving Bukhara, we see another Afrosiyob train. Doesn't it just look amazing in this Uzbek flag-inspired colour scheme? We're soon beginning to build speed on our way east, and only a few minutes later we pass through Farovon station, a modern station that no trains actually stop at. With our journey underway, let's take a look around this train's interior. The seats are outfitted in a smart black leather design. There's plenty of padding, and the ergonomic design is pretty good too, making for a very comfortable seat. Up here, there's a wide-winged headrest and a soft padded head cushion too. At each side of the seat, there's a large folding armrest, also adorned with padding. Next to the seat cushion is the button for the seat's generous recline, allowing you to slide forward, resulting in a much more relaxed angle. And as all seats are situated around a large table, I'm pleased to report that legroom is excellent. Only a few minutes into the journey, we're already beginning to hit some impressive speeds for the region, reaching 160 kilometers an hour. Most trains in Central Asia would struggle to even reach this speed, but we'll be getting even faster a bit later on. Right now, we're speeding past the endless steppe of the Navai region, which is Uzbekistan's least densely populated region, home to just 9 people per square kilometre. It's also the country's second largest region, much of the region's north being taken up by the Kizilkum Desert. 20 minutes into the journey, a trolley service begins. Passengers in VIP class receive a complimentary meal service. However, this does not include anything from the trolley. The staff also offer tubs of ice cream. This was a sweltering hot day, so I quickly took them up on this offer. The ice cream set me back 20,000 Uzbek som, and shortly after, all passengers in VIP class received a complimentary choice of tea or coffee. As the train travels along the line to Navai, you may notice some poles out of the window. Well, much of this high-speed line is actually single track, and shared with slower passenger trains and even slower freight trains. Therefore, the line is progressively being doubled, allowing for more trains to run, and more reliably too. After about 40 minutes of speeding across the steppe, our surroundings begin to look a bit more happening again. And check out this huge locomotive. Despite its rather dated appearance, this Russian-built 3ES5K locomotive was actually built in 2018 for use on Uzbekistan's heaviest freight trains. Our first stop is here in the city of Navai. With a population of 163,000, it isn't the country's largest, but still a major stop on the east to west railway line. There's still a bit of time before dinner, so let's take a look around the rest of the train. Most of the Afrosiyob is economy class, with seats in a 2+2 layout and mostly airline-style seating. And it's shots like this that show you just how short these Talgo carriages are compared to a traditional railway vehicle. You'll also find a buffet car, though I didn't get much footage as it was pretty busy. Lastly, 2 carriages feature business class, which is in a spacious 2+1 layout, but without the complimentary service. After Navai, we remain close to the Zarafshon River, with this name meaning spreader of gold in Persian. As well as spreading gold, the river also serves as a lifeline to the region, with land on the banks of the river being much more fertile, allowing for the growing of crops. The Afrosiyob actually has some onboard entertainment. All passengers in VIP class receive a pair of earphones. These can be plugged in beside your seat, allowing you to enjoy whatever they happen to be playing on the overhead screens. I'm not sure what they were playing, but it seems to be some sort of local music video. The train also promises onboard Wi-Fi, but as seems to be the case on a lot of premium trains on former Soviet railways, I couldn't even connect. There are also tissues provided at each table, in case you have any accidents. And located just beneath you is a European-style power socket. A somewhat awkward position, as the cable will have to pass through your legs. By the window, there are coat hooks. Despite being so hot in summer, temperatures in winter are often well below zero. And to provide shade from the beaming desert sun, sunblinds are found at each window. Above this is an individual reading light, one for each seat. These trains also have great luggage space, perfect for the many foreign tourists that travel on these trains each day. The overhead luggage racks are large, while a pair of huge luggage stacks are situated at the end of the carriage. And in fact, the amount of foreign tourists using this train is actually one of the biggest criticisms from locals, as numerous guided tour companies buy out all the tickets weeks in advance. This means that locals who paid for the line with their taxes barely even benefit. The only train that isn't sold out in this example departs at 3 in the morning. While another criticism is the extremely rough ride of these trains. This is a common feature of the Talgo design, as the singular set of wheels between each carriage simply cannot provide a smooth ride. Even an old Soviet-era carriage is better than this. However, Uzbekistan has recently introduced a new high-speed train, where hopefully both of these problems will be solved. Let me know in the comments if you want to see a video on this. To the right, we catch a first glimpse at the western edge of the Pamir Alai range. These mountains sit to the south of Samarkand and continue across the border into Tajikistan and eventually Kyrgyzstan too. And just minutes later, we're cruising through the outskirts of this city and slow down to stop here in Samarkand. Samarkand is a beautiful city and well worth a visit when travelling the Silk Road Railway. I guess it's only fitting that the station for such an amazing place is equally spectacular. This modern construction was seriously impressive. Boarding here was absolute chaos, and it took a good 7 minutes while hundreds boarded the train, taking all remaining seats left on the train. Departure from Samarkand was rapid, the driver certainly doing his best to show off the acceleration of these modern Talgo trains. It's finally time for the meal service. Uzbekistan Railways waits until after Samarkand to serve meals, as then it only has to do one round of service, with the section of line from Samarkand to Tashkent being the most popular in the country. A friendly carriage attendant soon brings the meal, served in a plastic tray. This consists of some bread, the world's smallest portion of rice, a few vegetables, and a halal chicken sausage. Despite Uzbekistan officially being a secular state, over 95% of the people follow Islam, according to national polls, so accounting for their dietary needs is a must. The meal also comes with a small selection of fresh fruit for dessert. This meal certainly wasn't anything special, though as I was pretty hungry by now, it was much appreciated. Toilets can be found in each carriage of the train, by the doors. Unlike most trains in Uzbekistan, these were modern vacuum toilets. And again, unlike most trains in Uzbekistan, they were clean and kept in good condition throughout the journey. The soap dispenser was working fine, as was the water. A hand dryer is located just above. These trains also have a few telltale signs of their origin too. Various components on the train feature instructions and labels in Spanish, with the Uzbek translation having been added on using stickers. Some signs are even in the distinct pink colour scheme of the Spanish operator Renfe, a clear sign of this design's origins. We're now not far from the fastest stretch of track on this journey through Uzbekistan. But before we get there, we first pass through the scenic highlight of today's journey. Most railway lines west of Tashkent avoid the country's limited mountainous areas, though the line we're on now is obviously an exception, briefly cutting through a mountain pass on the way to Jizakh. Be sure to look out for this monument to the Humo bird. This iconic creature symbolizes happiness and prosperity in traditional Uzbek culture. This station is Jizakh. It is a stop for the Afrosiyob trains, though not all make the call here, with mine just speeding by. And just after here, the Afrosiyob is truly allowed to stretch its legs. With the introduction of these trains, the fastest journeys between Samarkand and Tashkent take around 2 hours, a vast improvement on the classic Soviet trains, which take in the region of 4 hours. The top speed I saw on this journey was 230 kilometres an hour. Whilst this isn't the fastest these units can go, that being 250 kilometres an hour, this is still one of the fastest train journeys possible in the former Soviet Union countries, with only the Sapsan in Russia also being capable of 250 kilometres an hour. However, the Afrosiyob presents a seriously rough ride at this speed, with the tracks and train not being suitable for the job. With the sun rapidly setting, we pass through smaller towns such as Pakhta, part of Tashkent's limited commuter railway network. This network is operated by these very old and basic elektrichka units. It's certainly a stark comparison from the modernity of the Afrosiyob high-speed trains. Let me know in the comments if you want to see a video on these trains. Now on to how much this VIP class train ride actually cost. My ticket was 326,000 Uzbek som, which I think is a really good deal. But there's a catch. Fares have since nearly tripled compared to what I paid on this journey back in 2023. And just a few minutes later, we're well within the city of Tashkent and approaching Tashkent North Station, or Toshkent-Shimoliy, with a small delay of 4 minutes, arriving at 19:21. Overall, this was a very good journey on the Afrosiyob. It's the fastest train in Central Asia by a large margin, with comfortable seats and friendly service, even if the food wasn't that great. Though this train does suffer from the same flaws as many other Talgo trains, with the single set of wheels between each carriage causing an unpleasant ride. However, as the new high-speed trains for Uzbekistan Railways enter service, based on South Korea's impressive KTX technology, there is a lot to look forward to for the future of the railways in the country. But Uzbekistan has more than just glamorous new high-speed trains. There are also many traditional sleeper trains connecting various smaller towns, often through some incredible scenery, which you can watch by clicking up here now.